Okay.
All right. Hey, Shalonda. This is Shalonda Gibson. She is well, not even former client because she still does utilize our services through, advisory services. And my name is Muncie Hawkins. I am the CEO of Fig Restoration. And I just wanted to jump on and just share a little bit about my client who has had major success. And so over the next couple of months of this year, I want to highlight those entrepreneurs, those professionals, those home buyers that have actually had success and they have gone on to achieve greater things. So enough about me. Shalonda, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Shalonda Gibson. I am an entrepreneur. I actually started my businesses. My first business I started maybe like 9 years ago, but I have been an entrepreneur since I was a young kid. I was always selling something, but selling candy, doing something, cool cups. I was the candy lady at one time. Wherever I can make income, that's what I was doing. So about 9 years ago, I started Unlimited Tax Resource LLC. I was working for a major firm. I've been in the tax industry 13 years now. And a couple of years ago, I just decided, it's time for me to step out on faith and just dive into what God had me do. And in doing that, I was able to start a couple of more businesses in the process of that. So, I'm very grateful for Fig Restoration because it helped me to be able to manage my income and my money that I was receiving. Because at first I wasn't too big on credit and all that until I started getting these businesses. And I noticed like, hey, if you're trying to get a business loan or anything, they're going to hit your personal credit and they want to see who is this guarantor and what you're about. And so that's when I came to Fig Restoration. I was trying to actually buy a vehicle. And we go way back, and Muncie was like, "Hey, friends don't let friends go in with no double digit interest. So trust me." And I was like, "Fine." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna trust you." She said, "Give me 60 days," and I did that. And I followed her instructions, and I did as she asked me to do. And I'm gonna tell you, she is wonderful. She knows what she's doing, and if you are ready for that journey with her, you have to make sure that you're ready because she ain't gonna play no games with you. Okay.
I just want to stop you for a minute, and I'm glad that you said that. Because one thing about me is, anyone who really wants help, I'm always down for the ride. I love to see us all come together. So before you actually, decided, because it's a lot of companies out there, it's a lot of people out there that can help. But in your mind, were you ever, nervous? Did you ever think that, hey, I don't know if this is something that I can do? Considering your background, considering some of the challenges that you had, from childhood to adulthood, did you ever think that, I may not be able to have businesses. I may not ever be able to, you know, get where what I want to get in this life? Or was it that, I want these things, I'm willing to take on the challenge? What was that like for you before you even called me?
Well, it was, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of afraid. And afraid, I don't know what I was actually afraid of. I think I was more afraid of being denied or, and kind of embarrassed on, you're 46 years old and you don't got your stuff together, or what people would think or what you would say, me not being organized at the age that I am. And so I was afraid that I couldn't get a single digit, uh, um, financing for my vehicle. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get the credit cards that I have at the limits that I have, because of my credit score. I didn't know how it worked. So you kind of be nervous when you have to step out and it's a change, it's something different for you when you're used to doing something, one way. And you don't have the education and knowledge that you need to succeed. And when I came to you, Fig Restoration, you educated me. That's what I love the most. You educated me on the things that I needed to do. And then you gave me confidence. You told me, hey, this is life. Everybody have ups and downs. And so I felt comfortable with you. I felt like, okay, I can just pour it all out and, just let you see, this is my mess. Can you help me out of it?
Good, good. And I wanted you to touch on that because a lot of times there is hesitation with individuals when they want to make a change, but then it's like, I don't know if I really can. I don't have the accountability. And so you just saying, what you just stated, it's really important because, you and I both, you have your world of nonprofits, you have your tax company, your t-shirt business, your cleaning company. And I even sit on your nonprofit board, and I've learned so much and seen so much about how you encourage individuals and you give them hope to go on. And so we all use the same tools in our businesses because individuals need hope, individuals need accountability, individuals need support. And so that's one of the things that I've always wanted to embody with Big Restoration. And so I was just excited that I could help, someone that I grew up with. It's not, every day that I get to work with individuals that I grew up with. And for you all that don't know, Shalonda and our parents used to babysit, us when we were kids. And so we grew up together. We grew up in the same neighborhood. So it's easy to identify with some of the barriers that may have taken place or some of the mindset issues or controls, coming from a background where financial literacy wasn't prevalent in our homes and just not having the right tools. And that's nothing against, our parents. It was just a totally different time back then. And so now that we do have the tools, it's important for us to keep it going, keep it moving, and to bring others along with us. So Shalonda, I want to ask you, now that you have become a queen of credit and, a queen of business, what are three major things that you learned in terms of your credit? What is three things that you learned that you think everybody should know that will help them gain some points or that will just help them, become further along? 3 points. That's it.
Because I can go on.
I know.
Okay, the 3 points that I learned, I really didn't understand credit cards. I didn't understand that, when they was like, you shouldn't use 30%, over 30% of your credit card. I used to max these cards out. And then, when tax season comes, because I was on that kind of pay thing, I pay them all off at one time. But I was still like in a cycle, still doing the same thing, like each year, max them out, then pay. And so I was wondering why my score would never go up like it should. So that's a point that I learned. I also learned that by getting my score up, I had more opportunities in the financial sector, like as getting loans for my businesses, understanding what credit is, because if you're not taught that, you don't know. So I didn't really understand it. So once I became a client of yours, you really taught me a whole lot on the major part was the credit cards that I really didn't. And so it made me afraid to even try to, get a home or anything because your credit score had to be a certain amount. So that's the major point. It was the credit cards, it was the financing for my businesses, and third, the vehicle, because you'll go and you like, if I can get this, let me get it, but you're not even understanding the interest rate and what that means over the years on how much you will have to pay if it's this amount. So that was a third point that I learned.
Oh, and that is so important, as you said about the interest rate. A lot of times we go into these car dealerships or just in anywhere that you're trying to get a loan, and we are praying like, just let me get the vehicle. But we're not looking at, yes, we can just get a vehicle, but what does that look like on the backside? If they're hitting you with the 12%, 13, 15, 23% interest rate, that is money that is coming out of your pocket. Oh, not just in the long term, but on the front end where you're having to put a deposit down, that's cash out your pocket, and then thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of that loan versus, someone having a good interest rate. Let's just say say you go get a car for 20, I'm gonna just say 25,000, and these numbers may not be right. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, you may go get a loan for about 25,000, and if your interest rate is 23%, versus an interest rate that is, let's just say 3% to 5%, that's hundreds of dollars more. That's $300-400 more on the car note with that higher interest rate than it will be on the car with the lower interest rate. So that's something we have to think about. The higher the interest is, the lower the amount of money that you're going to be able to save. So sometimes it is just better to wait. And I was really thankful and happy when you said, I'll give you 60 days, you know, because I knew, I was like, 60 days will save her $400, $500, you know, and that's what it's about. It's time for our generation to really, you know, pay more attention to what are we going to do when we retire? How much money can we save now? You know, if we're getting loans, if we're, you know, building, we want to be able to get the best interest rates, period. Because at the end of the day, like I said, that's where, you know, we end up wasting a lot of money. So I just wanted to do a quick video just so they can see, you know, we've done a post about you, but I wanted them to see you, you know, and hear, you know, your journey. And before we go, Shalonda, just tell them some of the things that, you know, you like to do. And also I want you to touch a little bit on your nonprofit. What is it that your nonprofit do? Because I know that that nonprofit helps a lot of people. So they need to know about it.
Yes. Well, Operation Love, I started that back in October of 2018. God gave me a vision and an assignment, and I followed through. And the thing that I love about my ministry, I love helping others. I love that God allowed me to go back to my community each year for Christmas and give back to the mothers and children that's living in homelessness. We also go to different organizations like the Covenant House. We motivate, we uplift, we encourage, we tell our testimonies, and we let them know, hey, I have not always been at this status. You know, I had trials and tribulations coming up as a child and as a young adult. You know, I wasn't perfect, but you know, I know that God can change things in your life. So the purpose of the ministry is to go out and give hope and let them know that it is a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if you don't see that light, it's there. And it's, I feel it's our duty as individuals that God has blessed throughout the years, you know, to give back and give your testimony. That's what a testimony is for. It's for you to give back and, you know, share that testimony to encourage others. So Operation Love, we operate in love. We're loving the operation. We love everything that we do, and it's more to come. You know, COVID kind of slowed us down a little bit, but hey, things are going to get better, and you'll see a whole lot more that Operation Love Outreach Ministry will be doing.
Awesome. I just love it. It's a great feeling when, you know, we have clients that has a bigger purpose. And I always say, and one thing that I've always prayed about, everybody knows that FIG stands for faith in God, but I've always asked God to allow me to be just a small vessel, you know, that people like you can just stop by for a minute and get where they need to be, so that way he can take you and position you and move you to greater. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that my clients have bigger purposes, and I'm just thankful to play this little small part, because, you know, sometimes it be the finances that just stop us from just doing everything that we want to do. We know you need the funding, we know you need the businesses, we know you need all of that to reach a larger scale to do what it is that you do so best. So thank you, Shalonda Gibson, for you know, FIG Restoration. Any last things you want to say?
Yes, I wanted to also say this, that what I noticed over the years of my businesses, I noticed in Unlimited Tax Resource LLC, I'm helping. M&D Cleaning, we're helping. When we Truly Ink, the t-shirt business, we're helping people put their visions where they can see it on shirts, cups, whatever. And all the, you know, the businesses and the ministry that God gave me, I'm helping someone. And so that really means a lot to me, because people need that help and that encouragement. And so for God to allow me to be a part of, you know, all these different people I meet in life, it is awesome. And I'm really grateful for it. Oh, and one more thing. I'm also a notary. I've been a notary for 9 years. And so March right now, I am actually studying for my exam, to pass my exam to become a signing agent. So look out for that. So that will be coming in March. So, you know, just look out for Shalonda.
Oh, Shalonda Gibson is serial entrepreneur. Let me tell you something. And when you're making all this money, don't forget about the little people like me.
You know.
I'm so happy for you. This is so amazing. It just lights my world up. So I'm gonna let you get back to your day because I know you have 50,000 things to do. God bless you. Anybody who wants to reach out to Shalonda, tell them how to get in contact with you.
You can contact me at my phone number at 832-310-4508. You can also reach out to me on social media. I have a ministry page, Operation Love Outreach, if you want to volunteer with the ministry. My tax business is Unlimited Tax Resource, LLC, and my cleaning business, M&D Commercial Cleaning. You can reach me either way.
All right, well, there you have it. And for those interested in credit services, www.figrestoration.com. Thank you again, Shalonda. You all have an amazing day.